Hello, my friends. I hope you're having a great day today. The sun is shining here and the snow is melting here, so I'm very happy. Things are looking brownish green. It's good. It means spring is on its way to our area. That's awesome. So, what I had planned today was to just do a little bit of painting. I have two different papers here. I have my Cotman watercolors, which are um, a less expensive version of Winsor Newton paints. A lot of people use them for practice or classes, learning, something like that. I have a piece of Arches watercolor paper here. I'm sorry, this is not Arches. See, that's what happens. Sometimes you forget. This is actually Canson watercolor paper. We've used this before. It's inexpensive. People use it for practice. This is actually a B paper. I think it's very similar to the Canson. That's what I think. This isn't the 100% cotton bee paper that some people used to be able to get. I don't think people can find it anymore. But I want to show you what I would do to paint on these papers and make them work for me. This is a Grumbacher size 10 round. First off, and I have my two waters. First off, we're going to wet these down and we're going to do what they call like stretching the paper. Okay, friends, so I have shown you my water bottles before, and we've done wetting paper down before. They also have a way of stretching a paper. So you can look this up online, or you can just take a big bucket of water and put it in there and make sure your paper is nice and soaked. Then you take it out, you put it on a hard table or a glass. You can use a glass cutting board. You can use a large piece of some sort of hard board if you're not used to doing artwork. The object is to get it to sit on something flat, something hard and flat, maybe plastic. Then you're going to take a sponge or paper towel, whatever, and you're going to dab off the excess of the water, and you're going to let it tape it down on all four sides, and make sure that it is nice and tight, and then let it dry overnight. So then you're going to take that the next day and you can paint on it. So that's all well and good. I like to do it a little differently when I'm doing what I'm doing today. I get the table wet or whatever I'm using. Sorry if my fingernails are a little dirty. I have been out in the garden getting things ready for spring. So excited. Okay, you can already see that Canson, I was going to say canvas. Canson watercolor paper really did buckle fast. Okay, but we're just going to keep applying water without trying to really touch the paper all that much. We're just going to get it nice and soaky wet until it's nice and flat on my table. And we just want it to just do its thing and just relax. And that's all there is to it for what we're doing. Now, if you're doing a real painting, you might want to actually do it, you know, with a painter's tape, and you can do all kinds of tape. There's washi tape works well. You can use masking tape, that works. Painter's tape works. But you really want to make sure that you like get the back of it, like take the sticky part of the tape and run it across, stick it to your pants leg or something first, or a towel, so that you get some of the sticky off of it, because you don't want all of that on there. A lot of that just kind of rips the side of your page when you pull it off. So if you're just going to try this, this is okay, because we're just going to kind of we're going to make something beautiful, and then we're going to try really hard and see what we can do with it, with maybe a pen or some pencils, some colored pencils, or maybe some watercolor afterwards, and see what happens. So we want to get rid of some of this water because we don't want it to just waterlog. We want it to just be nice and flat. And if you have this spot like I have where it's like, I just don't feel like it's like completely flat right there. Okay, and I don't know how often you videotape yourself doing stuff like this, but this is all new to me. And for me, this is like, it's very difficult to paint while you're, even with just water, while you're trying to not stick your face in the camera or bonk your head off the side of it. Okay, so I'm going to let that set for a minute, and I'll be back. While we're waiting, I thought I would just show you the actual paper. This is the bee paper, Bee Inspired. So this is a 140 pound 300 GM2. I got this at Walmart a while ago. This is this paper. And the other paper would be the one I've shown you before, Canson Watercolor. It is also, I think it's 140 pound. Yep, 140 pound, 300G. So that would be this one. So the reason why I'm using two different papers is I just thought we'd use similar paints and see the difference in how they take the paint. I think it's interesting. We'll see. Okay, I think our paper is pretty good now. There's a nice sheen on it. You can see the water just is not pooling anywhere. My table's pretty level. I was wondering about that. My table's pretty level, and I think it's doing really well. So this is going to be very similar to backgrounds, but not really, because we're going to do something different with them after they're completely dry. It's very relaxing. I want you to just sit back and enjoy this, or I want you to get out some paper and some color and paint along with me. Let's see what we come up with. It's nothing hard. You can do it. I can do it. You can do it. It is literally the easiest thing ever. So I'm just going to get my paintbrush a little wet. I know it already was, but okay, so we're just going to do some colors on here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm thinking yet, but something springy, because I am very excited about spring. So I'm just going to start off with some yellow and just lay some color down. That's all we're doing. We're just laying some color down just to see what happens. I'm going to get a little puddle of yellow over here and a little bit of this darker yellow. I do have my colors there. This is lemon yellow and cadmium yellow. This is cadmium yellow, hue, and lemon yellow. So we're just going to mix them a little bit and see what happens. And so we're just going to do just adding some color down and see where it goes, where it takes us. I had a very interesting question today. I was telling someone about my website, well, my YouTube channel, excuse me. I was telling someone about it, and they were very interested, thought it was a really cool idea, and they're like, wow, that's great. And so I told them to go check it out, and I said, you know, it's at The Painting Turtle by Danielle Baumert. And they said, that's so cool. Why turtle? So I thought I would tell everyone why turtle. I have been nicknamed Turtle since I was very little, so my daddy gave me that name, and it has stuck. I have a huge collection of turtles, and that's where it came from. I was thinking of the painted turtle, but I'm not painted. So I thought, well, let's try painting turtle since my nickname is Turtle, and we can just, I paint. So I'm the painting turtle. So that's where it came from. Okay, so this beautiful purple is actually, it says it's called mauve. I don't know. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And you'll notice when you're doing this, even if you have just some little Walmart colors, the colors are amazing. And some of them bleed really nicely and other ones just don't. So you'll find it's just, some of them repel each other. Some of them just bleed really wonderfully on a page. Some of them just sit there and be cantankerous. So then we're going to add a little permanent rose. And again, these are all Copman watercolor. And I'm not really doing this other than just trying to do it kind of the same on each page. They're probably going to turn out differently. Just a little bit of something, you know. We'll just see what happens. I didn't do this ahead of time. I'm not mapping it out. I'm going to move these over here just so my arm isn't in the way all the time. How about that? I bet that's better. Oh yeah, that's the ticket right there. That's what we'll do. I like that better. Reaching across just wasn't doing it for me. Okay, so I wasn't sure what we were using, so I watered all of the colors. I'm just going to put some color down here and see what comes of it. You don't have to have all of these colors either. You can have just like a really nice red. Let's see, what is the red we have? Cadmium red. Deep hue. It is a really nice red to mix with other colors. It's very nice. And now we're going to add some green in, because you can't have springy colors without green, right? So let's just add some green. We have sap green. Let's try some sap green first. And I'm just doing these straight up from my little palette here. I'm not gonna try to mix too much because I want you to know, I want you to feel how easy this is. This is super easy, and sap green is such a nice green for springtime. I mean, this could be a flowery page. Maybe not. Maybe it ends up being, I don't know. It could be anything, right? It's your page. I want to see, I really would like if you guys would tag me in some stuff that you've made, you know, at like the painting turtle. You could tag me in that. This is just some I had mixed on the side. I don't know from when, but it was there and it spoke to me. That's one of the good things about watercolor. You can use it and reuse it. It is amazing stuff. I love it so much. And so then we're going to do a little bit of Hooker's Green Dark because we can. Why not? It's ours. It's our painting. We can do whatever we want to do. We're just going to put some color in there. We're just going to see what happens with it. Who knows? Could be a masterpiece. Could be something you want to put on your wall when you're done. Who knows, right? It might be wonderful. You might say, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And then start over. You can do that. Why not, right? As you can see, I'm not doing them exactly the same anymore. We're just going to plop some color in there. What else is a springy color? Can you tell I've had daycares in my life? So I ask the questions. What else should we put in there? Maybe a tiny bit of, this is purple. But I can't say what kind of purple that is because I can't read that word. I'm going to find out and I'm going to let you know. Diazepine? Diazepine purple? I think that's what it says. If it didn't, I'll find out and I'll tell you later. Don't tell anybody that I couldn't read my own writing. I can read it, but I can't say the word. It's okay. Do we always need to know everything? Nah. It's purple. It's beautiful. It's purple. It's all good. I love that dark purple. Absolutely love it. Okay. A little bit more over here. We're just letting it do its thing, whatever that is. And I'm thinking a little bit of blue. I have two blues. I have intense blue, phthalo blue, and I have ultramarine blue. I think I'm going to go with phthalo. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one. And I'm just going to, because, you know, I can. Sorry, that was a weird noise. But it's fun. It's fun to make some fun noises and be silly, especially when you're just painting. I promise this is going to be really pretty when it's done. And like we have done before, you can take your water and give it a little zhuzh. This one's leaking a bit. You can give it a little bit of a little extra water to make it smear around a bit. Look at how nicely that does. Kind of makes it do its own thing, which is what we wanted. We want it to do its own thing. We want it to smush around and be its own person or its own painting. But look at that. It's just nice. We want to mush some of that over there, some of this back over that way, and just see what happens. We're going to just let it dry. And the magic of videotaping, I'm going to be back before you know it. But it's probably going to take me a hot minute to get this to dry because, you know, it's going to take a minute. Give it a little more extra darkness down here because I like it. Maybe a couple more here. Maybe something just a little bit, you know, just to see. Never hurts to add a little more color. Okay. I'm thinking I like it. I really think I like it. What do you think? I know I'm whispering again. What do you think? I think it's really pretty. Okay. Now, the hard part. Just sitting and waiting for it to dry. And then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. They're dry. I just wanted to show you what I did. Even on your best day, if you don't tape them down, they're going to buckle a little bit. So when they were just barely damp, I got my rice bags out. I put them on top of it. That's really heavy. Hear that? So put those on top of them, and now they're not completely flat, but they're a lot flatter than they were. So this is what we ended up with. How beautiful is that? I mean, seriously, with that right there, you could cut out a flower. You could paint a white daisy on there and just call it good. You could cut them in half, make small cards, and just write with a white pen or a black pen or whatever, happy spring, thinking about you, whatever. And you would have a beautiful card to send to anyone. So, I mean, just think about that. Just half of that with just some, it's just so pretty. I like this one, I think, the best because it blended so well. Yeah, I love that one. Okay, let's see what we can do with these. Okay, so I thought we'd start with this one. I see some really good shapes in there. And what I really love to do, especially when I'm just relaxing or I don't know what to do, I found these cool pens that are Sharpie pens. You can use all kinds of archival inks, whatever. But when I'm just playing around, I like to use these. They have several different sizes, if you can find them. Usually I can only find this one now, but they have all these sizes. And I like them because they're ballpoint, ballpoint, not bell. So I'm going to start off with a 0.7, and I'm just going to look for some shapes, and we're just going to draw around some shapes. And this is what I just think is just fun. And I like to just, sometimes I scratch it along, sometimes I just move with the shape, and sometimes we'll just outline things and see what happens. Now, you saw what I did before. I did not try to make any shapes. Not really. I just kind of played with it just to see what would happen. Just to see if we can find anything. Now, sometimes this looks really weird, especially right in the beginning. It's like, what are you doing? It's just play. Sometimes they turn out really beautiful. Other times, I'm not crazy about them. But you can take and make dark edges in some places to where it just looks like, gives it a little depth. Like a little something is there, but maybe the person looking at it doesn't quite know what it is. But it makes people think, what are they trying to accomplish here? But I see some shapes emerging here and there. Just play. This is not, I mean, if it turns out amazing, then fine. Frame it, put it on your wall, give it to a friend. But if it turns out where it's like, oh my goodness, what in the world was I thinking? Who cares? If you like part of it and you don't like the other part, then who cares? Get rid of the other part. Keep the parts that you like. Cut it up. Make it into, I mean, I have done this and I have been like, okay, I liked it, but then I messed it up and now I don't like it anymore. And so then I took it and cut it into flowers, and it looked really beautiful. If I still had them, I would show them to you, but I probably gave them away or put them on a card. Sorry, I'm going around circles, but it's easier for me if I go around in circles than if I try to, as you can tell, I've got some issues going on. This bone's hurting. This bone. I strained it with my purse. How weird is that, huh? How many, raise a hand, how many times have you put a purse on your shoulder and your thumb gets caught in there? You know, don't do that, Danielle. I did it like 3 times the other day in a row, and I kept wondering, why is my thumb hurting? So silly. And all of a sudden I was like, I put my purse on my shoulder. Me and Mr. Scott were out, and I was like, ow, that's what's hurting my thumb. just dawned on me. You know, you get those moments when you're like, all day long I've been wondering what in the world am I doing here. So you get the hint here of what I'm doing, okay? So we're just gonna play along some of these little lines and see what happens. It may turn out to be fantastic, it might not. Sometimes I just want to have a play, see what happens. Okay, so with that, I could go on all day long. I want to also introduce this little number, and I had some ideas on what to do with this. So what you can do is you can make a circle over your lines if you want to, or you can make it really interesting where your lines kind of, you know, make it look like something is behind it. Look at that. See, that changed it completely. That made it what I think that made it very interesting. I think that just turned it completely on its ear. Now we're just going to do this. We're just going to figure out where do we want this? Let's see what it looks like. Ooh, I like that. I like it. And look at that. You can do this with crayons or paint. You could do this with watercolor pencils or just colored pencils. Whatever you got. A pencil. If you wanted to. Draw some lines on a paper and see what happens. Who cares? Just be creative. Just find something. Something that just takes you out of your comfort zone. I want that in there, but I think I want that point. Look at that. I think we're going to do that way. Wiggled it. It just seems like that point needed a place to go. And then I'm going to connect it up like this because I want to. This is mine. You can do anything you want. You can make it any way you want to make it. You can change it. I'm going to do this too. Let's see. We're going to connect this over to here and put this one right behind everybody. Look at that. Ooh, I like that. See? This is completely turned into a completely different artwork now. It's completely amazing. This is, oh, I love it. Don't you love that? I mean, I could stop right now. Let's just see what happens if we just soften up those lines a little, or harden up those lines a little bit. Not soften. I really like this. I really like it. I like the addition of the circles, hey? I think that really did a lot for it. So you could do this. Anybody can do this, right? Anybody can make art. It depends on what you want to do with it. That's the problem. Like, you may not want to have a YouTube channel. You may want to do this just for fun. And that is fantastic. Just get out of your head. Have a little fun with some art. See what happens. What's the worst? What do we always say? What's the worst that can happen? You don't like it? Well, throw it away. Don't. Keep it. Who knows what might happen? Oh my goodness. It's just, I love this. This is so pretty. Oh. Is it okay to say your artwork is pretty? Your own artwork? I guess we have to be our own best critic. Or maybe not a critic, maybe a I just love that. I mean, I was going to put some different designs in there, but I'm thinking it looks pretty darn good right now. Right now. Let's see real quick. I'm thinking I wanted to put a little, not quite so perfect. Yeah, I like that, like that. Oh, I want to be able to see it. There we go. And these pens are Sharpie, so they're pretty darn good when it comes to painting on top of them. So if you like decided you wanted to add something to this later, you could. You just let it dry completely and then see what happens. Oh, I like this so much. This is so snazzy. Snazzy, snazzy. Let's see if we can't get this one to be behind, but off the page a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Well, let's see if we can maybe butt it up against this. Okay. I can do that. Look at that. Yeah, it looked like that spot was empty. Just lacking. A little lack in there. And all different sizes too. Look at this. You can do this and you don't have to have this circular thing, whatever this is, the stencil. You don't have to have this. You can do whatever you want to do. You could just draw shapes. Maybe, I mean, anybody can draw a circle or a square or a rectangle. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's see if we can't do something right here. Just to give this a little bit of... I know. When you're doing this, you can take it too far. You can ruin something that really looked cool. Look at that. I like this. I really like it. Those pretty pastel-y colors in the background, spring colors in the background, and then taking that dark black and just making it, it almost looks like you could look in the heavens and see it, you know? Looks like space, kinda. Maybe not really, but you know what I mean. But if you had a friend who really liked outer space, you could most definitely take this, frame it. I bet they would love something like this. You'd be like, this is kind of what I could see in my mind's eye of outer space. And when you talk about outer space, my son wants to go into outer space. He's talked about it for a long time. Me, not so much. I think I would rather keep my 2 feet right here on the ground. I'm not crazy about heights. I'm not terrified, but I'm not crazy about heights. So, I mean, honestly, outer space is not heights, I would guess, but to my brain, it just makes me go, that's too tall. Okay, so I want you to try this. I want you to try this. This is easy. Next time we're going to do like designs in the circles and such, because you could take this to a completely different level, but I wanted to start with something super duper easy and just show you how you can take just this and make it beautiful. I mean, if you have a stencil, or if you can make a stencil with a flower in it, you could take that and you could make flowers. And you could have the whole thing be flowers. Maybe I'll do that with the other one. Come back in a minute and show you how I can make a flower stencil. And we can make all flowers on the other one. That'd be cool. I think I'll do that. But I think we're going to stop with this one because I can just take it too far. But if you look for things like this online, you will see that people usually, very often, not usually, very often will take something like this and make all kinds of designs inside the circles, outside the circles. You can use a negative space, a positive space, whatever you want to do. But I think we're going to stop right there because I just really think this is cool. Almost looks like a fish. But anyway, okay, so we're going to stop with this one right here, and I'll be back. Okay, so I did a little bit of this on the back, behind the scenes, sorry, but on the back of what? No, because this one's still here, and I didn't do it on the back of it. Anyway, sometimes you know how your brain can go. Okay, so this is just paper, pretty paper, that I had made a stencil for myself with some daisy dies from Heartfelt Creation. I don't know if you're not used to dies. These are Thinlit dies, and you put them in like a Spellbinder's Platinum machine, and you crank them out. I like that best. I like it when it's not electric because, well, number one, we don't have to waste electricity. Number two, if the power goes out, I can still make some fun stuff. So what I did was I just placed this around and just went around it. I'll move this just a little bit so it's not in my eyeball. Yeah, there you go. And so I was just making some, I didn't want to do all these on camera because that takes forever. But I'll do one little one right here because I think that might look nice. And you just stencil around. You have all kinds of things you can use for stencils in your home. Everybody does. You can get stencils at the Walmart or Meijer if you have a Meijer, or Michael's, or online, or you can make your own out of all kinds of stuff. Who knows? But look at that. I think that just looks nice. I think that really looks cute. We might need another little one over here on this side, maybe. Maybe, yeah, a medium-sized one, maybe. That might be nice. A little medium-sized one right here, just to even it out a bit. And again, with something like this, you could easily cut it up and make cards out of it. Or you could color each one of them. You could leave them black and white. Black and white. You could leave them black with a color behind it. You could paint them white. Dr. P.H. Martin, he has a really good little white ink, which is fun to paint with. I don't even know if it's a he. Anyway, so all I was doing was giving each one of the flowers just a little depth here and there, you know, just to make them look like they're popping off the page a bit. Like this one, I gave it a lot. You don't have to do that. You can just leave it the way it is. You could paint each one of them with a little white or a little yellow or whatever color inside of the flower you want. You could do yellow, you could do white, you could do dark. You could just leave it as is. And I'm doing this with a pen, but you could do this with white paint as well, just to highlight them a little bit in white. So that would make the color pop even more than it is already. But for today's purposes, I think we're just going to do it this way and see how it looks. Behind the curtain, I may go and do some different things to it because it's my painting and I can, right? Same thing for you. It's your painting. You can do whatever you want to do. I really would like to see your stuff. If you are trying any of this, please tag me in it. The Painting Turtle. Hashtag The Painting Turtle. or the painting turtle 28. That would be great. 28 is my favorite number. I have silly stories about that too. So in later videos, we'll talk silly stories. That'd be great, huh? Can't give you all the information about me right off the bat, right? You got to keep coming back so you can figure out who I am. But I think this has turned out really cute. And you're just kind of putting a little shadow just behind a couple, just so you can see that there's something. And I mean, you can make it all black inside of there. That would be beautiful. Wow, that would be really pretty. We don't have time for that today because this is running long. You think, okay, so I think that there's like a little video in my head. I'm like, this is going to be like super easy and really, really, really chill and fast. Look at how long it's taken. But if you watch art videos are long. And I enjoy the longness of an art video. I really do. I also am going to, at some point, take my favorite artists that I have followed for years, and I'm going to pick out one thing that they do, or did. I'm going to try to recreate it here, and tag them in it on here so that they can see that I'm trying to do their art. And you guys, in turn, can check out their videos. I think that'd be cool. Give them a little bit of a fist bump. Hey, I really like you. You guys inspired me. I've been wanting to do this for forever. So long. And now we're doing it. And I'm very excited. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. Because I could go on and on, like I said. But, like, you could easily... I'm going to really quick grab my circle punch. And show you real quick. You could... Where is it? There it is. Okay. A little tiny circle punch. And you could easily take a little bit of some yellow paper. Whatever. And... Come out wherever you are. A little bit of yellow paper and color each one of those, and wouldn't that be pretty? So, yeah, you could do all that. I want to see what you come up with. So we have this. Look at how different, but still, same colors, same stuff. 2 different papers. I don't remember which one was which. This is the B paper that we used. So this is, the other one is the Canson. Both awesome papers. They both have a lot of texture to them. That's another reason why it's really good to use a ballpoint instead of a felt tip. Felt tips will get ruined on here. They work fantastic, but they get ruined on this kind of paper. So I'm saving those for other paper. So if you like this, give me a like. Please subscribe to the channel because it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Hit that bell notification because then you'll know whenever I am going to send out another video. It'll pop up and you'll get a notification. Yeah. Give me a comment. Tell me what you thought about it. I would love to hear from you. So with that, I'm going to leave you and say love and peace to you all, and hopefully you have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.